Good afternoon, everyone. Live from Roselle, New Jersey, it's the A7FL Elite 8 on Twitch and 11 Sports, broadcasting around the world on Twitch and across the United States on 11 Sports. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. And Cora, we've got ourselves an interesting little matchup here. And let's take a look at some of the keys to the game for Paterson and Baltimore. Let's take a look at the Paterson. It's pressure Jamel Mason.
Well, we mentioned him in the previous broadcast. Jamel Mason brings back a level of consistency at the quarterback position. He's one of the best throwers and best runners in the game. If the U is going to win this game, he might, but he can't be the deciding factor. So the other key to this game is that the U cannot turn the ball over, because if they stop themselves, that's the best defense against them.
And the number 2 seed in the A7FL, the Immortals, defeating the Gators 21-12. Now let's get to the action here.
Easy.
Wingate cuts through, bringing it down and brought down inside the 35-yard line.
And Jimbo, number 82, could sneak out.
Hard body put into pressure, ball pops out, immediately turned over by the Vikings. So deferring to the first half pays off on the first play from scrimmage as Baltimore gets the turnover and a first down in U territory.
But he's the runner-up for MVP in last year's regular season.
2 wide receivers, 1 in motion. The handoff from Mason going upfield, brought down in a steady gain by number 8, that's the freight train, Terrell Burks. 2 running backs, wide receiver in motion, 2nd and 8. Handoff to the left side, immediately stopped, smothered and covered, and that's number 6. And we believe that's Blair.
Yeah, Cordell Blair.
Correction, I believe. Yeah, that's Cordell Blair. Never watch any of their games where it doesn't have that kind of cut tension in the air.
Yeah.
Ball thrown deep, up in the air, and that one will land out of play. And we thank you for a record audience today on Twitch. Ball thrown deep into the end zone, intercepted by the U.
That's DeBray Tavares.
Tavares cutting near the sideline.
That's
big hip
Fios.
check block. No flag on the play. Brought down inside Baltimore territory. Tackle by number 13, Jiggy.
Right away, and their defensive backs are second to none. DeBray Tavares is another one of those guys coming up from the Chiefs, make the easy interception, and had plenty of room after he makes the first couple of guys miss. And the U, after that early turnover, force a turnover themselves and will start in enemy territory. Try to make up for that debacle.
Back set up to the left, that's number
D-train.
32, the D-Train, and the D-Train running express. No need to stop, heading straight for the end zone. Touchdown, Paterson.
Yeah, and once the D-Train gets rolling, it's hard to get him off the track. You saw the Vikings trailing him there, and their only opportunity to get him out of bounds was to push him, and shrugs off the push. Easy touchdown, and 2 offensive plays for the U.
20 left to play. There's the handoff to Hard Body. Hard Body pushing ahead, and he will not convert. Gets stopped inside the 1-yard line, and the Sicario not able to cash in on the contract. This is the A7FL playoffs, the Elite 8. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. And be a part of the conversation on social media by following us on Twitch at twitch.tv/A7FL, liking us on Facebook at facebook.com/A7FL, and also subscribing to us on YouTube at youtube.com/the A7FL. 1 off a fumble, 1 off an interception, and right now the most dynamic play in football, the 3-on-1. Corey, Baltimore with the ball, picking that one up inside the 5. That is number 45 bringing the ball down. That's the Hitman, and the Hitman not executing excellently and being brought down by all 3 members of that 3-on-1 special teams unit.
Back in the game.
Gervin set up to his right. They'll hand it off to Gervin. Good block, good cut, but double tackled. Knight and Rogers helping out, and I think there might have been a flag on the play.
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
And rolling out to his right. Launches this one deep downfield. Catches it in stride. No! Off the hands. That pass intended for Amani Skinner. And Frozone caught up in the spotlight. And that one will be 2nd down. Happened through a touchdown, through an interception in the end zone. Here comes Ramadan. Ramadan making him roll out to his right. Mason throws this one and that one will go out of play. One ineligible receiver. And here comes the pressure. Thrown, almost in, and it's intercepted. Considered an interception? No. Coming from both sides.
That's number 5, J-Rock Rogers, getting the quick pressure again.
Rolling out to his right. Moore will just take it and bring it upfield, and it'll be third down. Yeah, especially here on Twitch, because for the rest of the A7FL playoffs, the hand up off the middle. Gervin trying to move it ahead, completely stopped at the door. Correction, that was not Gervin, that was number 30, Ricardo Freeman, the Wolverine. And the Wolverine, adamantium, ain't getting through that wall. It'll be fourth down. Semi-final round. It's a 3-on-1 as a U will get the ball back. That one will bounce.
And they make the right decision, keeping the ball away from Kareem Moon and out of bounds.
You can see so far today, not in the U's favor. Huff will roll out. He'll run. He'll check down the sideline.
That's some disrespect shown.
3:35 left to play. And there's a direct handoff. Running it over, that's Moon. Moon finding a way to cut through, but not for long. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and it will be third down.
Like a rainbow ball from Huff here.
In trouble, holds on to it. Loops this one towards the sideline. Will they give him the catch? They gave him the catch, and it'll be first down, picked up by Kareem Moon.
Great play to convert the first down.
Quick toss, right side. Not able to get the running game going here after that big play by the D-Train.
Pat Coburn at the bottom of the screen.
Taking his time. Fakes out. There's a flag on the play, and that one will see Moon go out of bounds.
45 yards in penalties and the big turnover as Hardbody gets the ball up the middle.
And he'll get stopped again. The running game of the U, not as dynamic as it usually is, getting stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it will be third down.
With a hard-fought game.
The handoff to Hardbody, the flea flicker, fakes it, launches this one downfield. Will he be able to make the catch? Played for it, no. Big a heads-up play by Amani Skinner. Frozone making the stop, and it will be third down. Paterson against the wall.
Good coverage, and again, we talked about Irving Wingate, one of the faster guys in the league.
Four on the line, one wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. There's the handoff, pushing upfield, and biggest run of the day for number 6, Daryl Hard Luck. You know, a gain of about 5 there, Corey.
Yeah, great play design. And if you saw it, you saw the pulling guard, even though it's not a technically guard with a 3-man line, but you had the pulling lineman getting out in front, and a good gain.
And it'll be second down after a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Handoff. No, that's a fake. He'll cut up. He'll get the first down and more. Bringing it down. Could be no. And he'll slide, take the caution as Quattro Huffin will get them inside near the red zone. The ball set up on the 9-yard line.
Mentioned it before, the play action fakes from Q Huff, Quattro Huffin. Almost a magical display of misdirection there, as it seemed like even the defense didn't know he had the ball, and he didn't even know he had the ball with a couple of hesitation moves to get 45 yards.
So it'll be 1st and 10, the handoff to Daryl Luck. Luck pushing through, touchdown U!
And he's not one of the 300-pound or 200-plus round running backs, but certainly not easy to bring down as Daryl Luck knifes in for the touchdown, and they'll take the 12-0 lead. There's the run by Huff again.
Here's what set it up, a huge run downfield. And if he instinctually knew that number 6 Gervin was right behind him. He knew he had to go down, take the slide, and let
what almost looks like the
run it
whole time he was running the ball, he's looking for the slide, because he gave the hesitation move multiple times. No one wanted to make the tackle, and he was able to mosey his way on down 45. I thought for sure he was just going to take off after getting the open field.
And they'll be going for 2 here from the 10-yard line. As it is 12-0. The handoff to Luck again. Luck. Oh, Luck with a replay, and you see Luck running in there, setting that one up, making it 12-0.
So now they'll be going for 2. Kareem Moon back at quarterback. They love to do this on the conversion.
Moon set up with Hardbody to his right. Moon will hold on, whips this one, catches it, and they'll get the 2-point conversion. Rodriguez with the reception.
Yeah, Adrian Rodriguez with the quick decision by Moon, and we've already seen Moon's escapability, his ability to make a tight catch on the sideline, and now he has a conversion with the throw. Green Moon, one of the treasures of the A7FL.
So it's 14-0. The Vikings down, but not necessarily out. They've got a lot of time left to play in this one. But the U showing that they are one of the more dominant teams on both sides of the ball. It's 14-0 U. 12-11 left to play in the half. This is the A7FL playoffs on Twitch and 11 Sports. The 3-on-1 getting ready here as Quattrell Huffin will throw the ball off as the U with a 14-0 lead over the Vikings. And right now, Corey, this is do or die time for the Vikings.
Well, there is still plenty of game left, but the formula for the U has been pretty simple. They're lining up, and they're just better than the Vikings so far. It's going to have to be a bunch of big plays on both sides of the ball for the Vikings to get back in this game. But like I said, they almost have a full 3 quarters to do it.
And that was the hitman, Chris Leslie. Not able to move as far upfield as he would have liked, but still a pretty decent run. It'll be set near the 30-yard line, around the 27. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. And you look at this U defense, they've been able to keep people stopped in their tracks all season long. Corey, right now, if you're behind center for Baltimore, you haven't been able to get a lot going. You've already thrown an interception inside the red zone. That was the closest they've gotten to a scoring drive here today. How do you get that donut off the board?
Well, instead of going with play action like the Vikings have been, I would just tell my running back to go straight for the free man. You see that the U are coming out with 4 linemen rushing. That means that there's always a free man. So that running back, instead of this play action or run here,
they'll take it up the sideline, and Gervin will get a huge gain here, getting it near to the 39-yard line. And we'll be speaking with Zakish Wright of the BIC to get his reaction to his team's loss in the Elite 8 and see what he's going to be planning to do next season. He may be joining us in the booth for the next couple of playoff games. Who knows what will happen, but the only way you'll know is by watching every Sunday with us until July 14th when we have the championship game live on Twitch. You're not going to want to miss out on that one, and go to a7fl.com for more information. 2 wide receivers set up to the right, with Moore having Gervin set up to his direct right. Play action, in trouble, takes a tumble, whips this one, and that one will go incomplete, and it will be 2nd down.
Again, the play action causes an unnatural delay in the play, and with the free man for the U coming, just not enough time for Jamel Mason, the quarterback for the Vikings, to do anything with it. He does manage to get away and throws the ball away from avoids the sack. He's been able to do that at least today for most of the game, but just not enough time to find an open receiver. Matt, if I'm the Vikings, I'm going to ditch the play action totally and then just try to get a good 3-step quick throw, because if they can't get the ball out before there's pressure, they really have no chance.
That is true, and it's do or die time, as I said before. 10:38 left to play as Baltimore walks back to the line. With 10.5 minutes left to play, they've got to make something happen on this drive to go into the second half with a little bit of something on that run. Gervin once again being stopped, and that's a loss of 3.
Yeah, Big Mo, long with Paterson getting in Gervin's face after the good tackle there. It's just tough when you're going against a team like this. You try to stay ahead of the sticks. You give the ball off on an inside handoff, and that run worked earlier in the drive. But if your offensive line can't block the defensive line of the defense, it's just impossible to get your offense going.
So it'll be 3rd down. After that loss of 3, it'll be 3rd and 13.
It seems like Jamel Mason has been in bad situations all game so far, but one big throw could change the course of this game. We're always one play away in the A7FL from becoming back to exciting, so let's see what he's got.
And here comes Ramadan, and here comes the pressure right there for it. Ball thrown deep, caught and complete. The ball thrown to Marlon Anderson, Tony toe tap, getting the completion. 1st down, Baltimore.
magician Jamel Mason is. He had 3 guys in his face from what seemed like the snap. You look at the blocking here, non-existent. Nobody pretty much gets any hands on any defender, but Mason is still able to find enough space to release the ball downfield as the U defensive backs were cheating, looking for the short routes. Mason is able to turn the tides and at least gain a big chunk on this drive.
And the ball will be set on the 22-yard line with 8:41 left to play in our second quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for Baltimore after the longest play of the day, longest throw of the day for either team, and probably the second longest play from scrimmage after that D-train run for the first touchdown from the U.
Yeah, that ball was in the air for at least 50, 60 yards because Mason had to drop back at least 12 to avoid the quick pressure. Calls a timeout.
And a timeout called by the Vikings, their first charge timeout of the afternoon. Interesting call. I'm guessing they weren't ready.
Well, not sure what it was. They did come out with 2 running backs in the formation. Mason might have saw something in the defense there. He's looking for a change-up.
And right now, the Vikings, that has to stop their momentum just a little bit. Throwing that touchdown, throwing that deep pass inside near the red zone, ball set up on the 22, going nearly 20-yard line to 20-yard line on that play. And that kind of hampers whatever they were trying to do, whatever they were trying to accomplish. Just for a brief second, you got to wonder if that hiccup will cost them as you see Wolverine and Gervin set up on either side of Jamel Mason, wearing number 5 today. Watch that pressure. You can see the U getting ready to.
Yeah, this much conversation in the backfield from the running backs is either talking about the protection, which has been an issue, or they're obviously calling a run cut.
The snap, play action, rolls out to the right, whips this one, incomplete. Intended for Gervin. That'll be second down.
Had Gervin in the end zone and just missed on the throw. Now, that's still a good throw because it's away from the defense. And as we've seen in the earlier game, you got to throw to the sideline when you run that corner route. Good pass protection from the Vikings allowed Mason the ability to even make that throw, but the incompletion brings up 2nd and 10.
Second and 10. You can hear inside the huddle as the freight train and the Wolverine set up on either side of Mason, making his 2nd start of the year. Play action, direct handoff, moving upfield, trying to get there and will not get the touchdown, will get the first down, and he's a little hurt, but a huge run by Ricardo Freeman, the Wolverine.
Now, that's where he gets his nickname. He is tough. It doesn't matter how big he is. He is stronger than the opposition a lot of times, and he has that tenacity that Wolverine, the character, does. Now, he may end up having what looks like might be a knee injury there, but great run as they get closer to getting back into this game with their first score.
It'll be 1st and goal, ball on the 5-yard line. A huge situation here as you see the Vikings preparing in the huddle.
Now, we talk about it all the time. There is no soccer in A7FL. Even though they're really close, they have a great drive going here, good big plays. If they can't punch it in, it means nothing.
They have 4 chances to score, 2 running backs, 1 on either side. The handoff rolls out and immediately stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down. The freight train stopped by number 13, Burton, whose nickname is Burton.
The Department of Redundancy department, as Burton makes the quick penetration there, makes the play, and it seems like that play call, the two-back formation, as far as the running play goes, is not going to work. You saw Gervin was able to slip and slide for 12 yards in the first play of this drive with just 1 back in the backfield. I think they just wanted to give the ball to Freight Train because just like we saw with the Wolverine on that last play, the Wolverine and the Freight Train are a heart and soul of this Vikings team.
And you see Big Mo Ramadan checked out for this play. Play action, whips this one to the corner, and that one will be incomplete. It'll be third down.
Pressure was too quick there. Freight Train didn't even go for the play action, which, again, I said this team has to just give up on the play action. It's just taking too much time in the backfield. They don't have enough time to call that as their play. But Freight Train, who's mostly a defensive player, and like I said, he's the heart and soul of the team, unfortunately not as skilled of a pass-protecting running back. And the rush gets to Mason quickly and forces the throwaway. That'll be a 3rd and goal. And like we mentioned before, it's cute to get down here inside the 10-yard line with a good drive so far. But they have 2 more plays to punch it in, and if they don't get any points. They don't get any recognition. It's just a drive that ended up with 0, as the previous couple of drives have as well.
And especially that first drive, they were able to turn the ball over, get a fumble on the first play from scrimmage, get only 2 yards, no touchdown, and there's a whistle on the play. And it seems like the U's in a little bit of trouble here, as it may get them half the distance to the goal.
Well, again, the U, if anything, have been shooting themselves in the foot in this game. Now, as Jamaica props up the ball ever so nicely.
The waiting for the kick that'll never come.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the specific call is here, but it gives the Vikings a chance to regroup on 3rd and goal. And it looks like almost half of the U team, 12 guys, are out there to see what both is the call and then to maybe confuse the Vikings, because there is no penalty for extra men on the defensive side of the ball in the huddle.
Moss BK wondering what would happen if this O-line was able to put together a couple of key blocks. But Football Wife saying these are just 2 really serious defenses, and both defenses have proven that they are very serious here tonight.
Yeah, I think I know the Football Wife, and she's right.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
We'll continue to.
It'll be 3rd down. You've got 2 wide receivers, but both teams still trying to get a little bit of an understanding on what the call is, what the situation is.
Well, it almost looks like number 89 for the U, Pat Coburn, a.k.a. Smoke, who is a wide receiver.
He's changed teeth.
He's bored, and he wants to go out for a pass because there's so much depth on the U. We haven't seen him make a play yet in this playoff.
And Big Smoke's made some of the biggest highlight plays of 2019, and you'll be able to see them across our social media. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching A7FL. It's 3rd down. It's the 2nd quarter with 5:40 left to go. Correction, the clock will change to 3:41. As the official clock is not in our booth. The official clock is kept by the officials. And we are finding out when the officials inform us of when the time changes.
Calvin's very secretive at that moment.
That is not beneficial for either you, me, or the players or the people watching at home.
Well, he'll every once in a while obligatorily tell the players when I plead, for instance, if it's myself. But as the time ticks down in the 2nd half, these next 2 plays for the Vikings are really going to go pretty much the entire distance of what the rest of the game is going to look like. If they can punch it in and keep it close, that's going to put pressure on the U, and we know that the U, if they do have a weakness, it's when they turn the ball over.
And they have 1 timeout remaining due to the U. The Vikings have 2. 3:41 left to play. Matt Ryan and Corey Hammond calling the action for you. Watch 21. Hard body looking to play, and here comes some initial pressure outside from the edge. Caught! Touchdown, Baltimore!
And that's a great play by the quarterback. No help from his offensive line. You mentioned hard body. He actually went out in the defensive coverage, leaving number 13 wide open, immediately right on top of him. He's able to roll out and find his wide receiver, look like Tony Toe Tap, who does a toe tap.
And they'll go for 1.
And he converts the touchdown. So they'll go for 1.
They will go for 1 here. Your score now 14-6. The Vikings able to get on the board with not a lot of time remaining in our 2nd quarter. And we see a Vikings player just getting here with 3:03 left to play.
Well, Baltimore's a long drive.
It is a long drive, and it is holiday traffic.
Yeah, you get pulled over once by a cop, you're in trouble.
One car parked on the side of the road. One exit closed, and your entire half is ruined.
So the conversion will be big, because if they manage to convert this, it keeps it a 7-point game.
And in our Twitch chat, Matt King Riddick joining him. Ball comes loose. Kicked out of play.
Now, did it cross the? I think it crossed the
It
goal
crossed
line
the goal
before,
line.
So it will be good.
So it will count. It will be 14-7. It will be a 7-point game as the Vikings fight their way back after an impressive drive. It's 14-7. The U get the ball back. Let's take a look at this again on the replay. Whipped that one, and that's the scoring play. A beautiful throw, just whipping it across his body and going directly into the hands of Amani Skinner, the Frozone, making that one 14-6, and then being able to pick up that conversion on the run. It's 14-7. The U getting the ball back. When we come back, it's the A7FL playoffs on Twitch and 11 Sports. And Corey, with 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half, the Vikings riding a little bit of a momentum wave on that last drive. Do you think their defense can keep up?
Well, their defense is doing great, and if they continue to play the way that they're playing, they might stay in this game. Problem is the next play isn't going to be a defensive play. It's going to be a special teams play. And what they're going to have to do is throw the ball to Kareem Moon in the open field and only have 3 guys there to tackle. The 3-on-1's coming up right now.
The 3-on-1 is coming up, and we want you to be a part of these 3 pieces of social media. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/A7FL. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/A7FL. And be sure to subscribe to the official A7FL YouTube channel at youtube.com/the-A7FL. Also be a part of our experience on Twitter and Instagram by searching A7FL. 14-7 your score with 3:33 left to play, and it will be number 9, Kareem Moon, taking the ball on the 3-on-1 as Baltimore got on the board, making it 14-7. And Corey, Kareem Moon is a dangerous man with the ball in his hands, and now that it's only 3-on-1, his chance to score drastically goes up. He catches it around the 9-yard line, swoops near the sideline, keeps pace, gets through, and stopped. And there might be a penalty on that play, tackled by the freight train, number 8.
Now, if you want to see an amazing football play, check out our YouTube page and try to find, there's no flag, and try to find the walk-off return Kareem Moon did. It was, I believe, 4 years ago in the Final Four, in which they beat the Immortals down by 5 with no time left on the clock. Kareem Moon actually walked off with a 3-on-1 return. If you haven't seen that highlight, either check out our A7FL.com page or find it on YouTube. That's the kind of guy we're talking about as the U starts the ball here. Good return, and D-Train back in the backfield.
And there we see Huff and Kareem Moon set up in the slot. And watch the pressure from number 45. That's Christopher Leslie. The quick toss to Moon. Moon streaking down the field. Gets the first down and a little more. Breaks the tackle. Running down the sideline, and he'll run out inside the 25. Stop near the 27. First down, U.
That's that shovel pass. They used that the last week of the regular season. You get the play action to the left side, the flow of the defense goes the one way, and you have the slot receiver Kareem Moon coming underneath for the shovel pass, gets the playmaker the ball in open field, and then there's a hurry-up offense right after.
Huge play, and we see the D-Train still in with number 11, Quattrell Huffin at quarterback. Play action, whips this one across, caught. Running down the sideline, keeps the ball in play, making it look easy. Ernest Wingate going with a little bit of the salsa dancing. Touchdown, U.
And that's way too easy. Back-to-back plays, the play action forces the defense, who, remember the last time D-Train had the ball was an easy touchdown. So they fake it to him. Quattrell Huffin great at the play action, and that leaves wide open people down the field. Some of the fastest guys in our league all on the same team. First with Moon, breaking free, and then the second to Ernest Wingate for the easy score.
And it seems like they'll go for 2 here.
After a great momentum-shifting drive.
Correction, 1.
And after a great momentum-shifting drive by Jamel Mason and the Vikings, where Jamel Mason basically pulled every yard out of his own hat, all of that momentum immediately gone as the U, running the hurry-up offense in 2 plays from scrimmage, puts this game back to 20-7.
And you see hard body set up behind Moon. D-Train set up to the right, 3 on the line, 1 wide receiver outside your screen. Watch that pressure. You've got 6 right there from Baltimore. The toss back to hard body. Hard body getting in there and getting the 1 point, making it 21-7 U.
Triple option from Kareem Moon, runs it perfectly, and the beauty of a triple option is if you don't make a mistake on offense, it's guaranteed points.
And there's that touchdown pass to Wingate. Just quick and easy, was able to beat those defenders, and then a little bit of that cha-cha slide, a little bit of the salsa dancing, making it chunky on the scoreboard, 21-7.
And just like that, the U makes a game that seemed like we would have the Vikings back in it. They push it back to 2 scores, and I think the most interesting things that have happened so far in today's game have been when Jamel Mason has 4 or 5 guys from the U in front of his face making plays. But even though it looks easy, the U when they're on offense are something special.
And we've reached our 2-minute warning. The U leading the Vikings. It's 21-7. This is the A7FL playoffs. And here comes the 3-on-1 play. That one will bounce inside the 5. Loose ball, trying to keep it near the end zone. In trouble, could be getting a safety, brought down inside. And that seems to be a safety. Number 45, Hitman, no safety. And it'll be on the 1-yard line. They call the ball dead at the 1-yard line, Corey. And with 2 minutes left to go and 2 timeouts, the Vikings have 99 yards to pillage. Well,
this is the stuff that legends are made of if Jamel Mason can pull this one out of his hat. Horrible decision by Hitman there on the return. You gotta catch the ball, really, with the speed that the U have as a team, especially the guys that were out there. You don't have time to make a decision.
And once it goes inside that 25-yard line, this is the A7FL playoffs. It's the Paterson U taking on the Vikings as one of the bottom seeds in the A7FL playoffs. Look to upseat the top seed in the A7FL playoffs. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. It'll be 1st and 10 after the 2-minute warning, and it is not looking good for Baltimore heading into the second half. They do get the ball back, so they can try to make the most out of these 2 minutes, get the ball back, and then hopefully try to fight back. But they're down 2 scores with a lot of road to hoe.
Well, great quarterbacks can make great plays, and if Jamel Mason is able to get a score here with under 2 minutes left, they get the ball back, and with all the momentum, they might even be able to tie it up, because it seems like the U might not be able to get the ball back. But on the 1-yard line against this defense of the U,
timeout.
That's a lot to ask for, especially when it looks like they'll have only 3 guys blocking for him and 4 guys of the U rushing.
Timeout call by Baltimore, and that one will be their 2nd timeout. And this one seemed like Baltimore just wasn't ready. They weren't prepared.
Well, if I'm the quarterback and I see 4 guys about to rush me with only 1 yard between me and the end zone, I might have called a timeout myself.
Vikings have now 1 timeout remaining. The U have 2 timeouts. You see some quick refreshment for our officials. And a good catch by the water gentleman.
Good job, water gentleman.
Hashtag
That's
water
a
gentleman.
movie coming out by Paramount.
Yes, Water Gentleman.
Sequel for The Waterboy.
Actually, no, it's a period piece about 18th century England.
Nice.
And here comes the pressure from the U. Automatically in there, tipped and intended for number 11, Marlon Anderson. Tony toe tap is Tony, no completion, as it'll be 2nd and 10, the ball on the 1-yard line. 1:43 left to play.
Yeah, Jamel put some steam on that ball, and nobody was able to come up with it, but you're trying to get back in this game. If you're Anderson there, you got to catch that ball and make some plays.
And coming up at halftime, Corey's going to be leaving us and heading down right onto the field to speak with Zakish Wright about what happened between the BIC and the Savage as we set up for our Final Four, as the Savage, the Immortals, and one more team have made it to the Final Four.
Cobras.
With the Baltimore Cobras.
who've had a great year, led by Buck, their quarterback, and the joystick, the human highlight reel.
And the Cobras walked in 6-2, so 3 of the top seeds are possibly making it to the Final Four. And that pass, way incomplete, and almost in the hands of the lightning bolt, Kel Gallimore. And it will be it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, Kells was the only one in the area, but you know, when you're Jamel Mason and you got a free rusher, you just got to get rid of the ball. You can't take the sack, especially. Now, sometimes when you're a quarterback and if you get quick pressure, yeah, take the sack. That's a better move. But I'm just really impressed by what the U is doing to Jamel Mason and what he's been able to do for his team. I've been there and done that, and with my limited mobility and lack of arm strength like Jamel has, I suffered the hands and the feet of this U team 40-0. That's how good they are. It's amazing to even see him gain yardage and drive the ball downfield. That's why they're so happy to have him back. But even with his Herculean effort in this first half, they're still down by 14.
And the Vikings had a tough game of their own last week. They had to beat the Panthers and barely won that one 24-22.
Yeah, well, the difference in that game was the Panthers, who were the upstart team in the regular season, no experience as they were a rookie team, and tried to figure it out.
Rolling out to his right, and that one will be incomplete. Everyone and their mother knocking on the door. It was like Halloween. No trick, no treat, just an incompletion, and it'll be 4th down.
What are you doing 4th and 10, 99 yards to go? Probably want to throw this off, don't you?
Yeah, I would consider that. You know, it's 1:46 left to go, so you might be able to get the ball back at the half, and it looks like they will throw it here on 4th down. The 3-on-1, brought to you by Tim Tam, recovery for all, and the Vikings need to recover here as they're down 21-7 with 1:46 left to play in our first half.
Well, if I'm the Vikings, I almost don't want the ball back, because one way they can get the ball back is if the U scores quick here.
Yep.
And the U has shown an ability to score very quickly with their, not only with their hurry-up offense, but with their big-time playmakers. So it'll be interesting as they have Kells, the lightning bolt, back to return to kick as he shoos Kareem Moon off to the sideline. But if I'm Mason, I'm throwing it out of bounds.
This ball's thrown out of play, and it seems like it'll land in Viking territory, which is great news for the U. As Gallimore was the intended returner. The ball thrown out of bounds. Taking a huge risk there throwing that ball out of bounds, because throwing it on if you were throwing it on a line, you get the chance for that ball to go deeper into opposing territory and for the opportunity to try to get a big stop and start and keep them from a scoring chance.
Yeah, well, you kind of take what you can get, I guess. On the 3-on-1, especially on a punt style change of possession where you have the ability to throw the ball out of bounds. Sometimes with a quarterback like Mason, and look, he just threw the ball 50 yards on the line. Sometimes you prefer to have no return yards. So it's just a net of wherever you throw it out of bounds. So they decide to make that decision here as Huff and the U come out. Looks like they brought in the big Pat Coburn Smoke to play tight end. Look for him to play action and slip down the field.
And El Sicario set up to the right with Huff handing him off the ball. Running near the sideline will be more of a lateral run than gaining yards, and that might have been a gain of about 2 or 3.
I think he did get out of bounds there, so the clock should stop, which is good for the U offense. This Vikings defense does need to stop them. They do get the ball back at half, but a score here might completely drain them of any energy they have left, taking that long trip from Baltimore, taking on a team that seems, at least in this first half, it's going to be almost impossible to beat.
Trying to break this Baltimore team's back. One wide receiver set up towards the top of your screen.
That's Pat Coburn.
Number 19, whips it.
That's Adrian Rodriguez.
Rodriguez getting the first down and getting
tackled
inbounds and near the 30-yard line. They'll call that one the 29. And the yard marker, the first down marker, blown away, but the ball will be on the 29 as we see 4 wide receivers set up to the left. Huff moving out of the way, whipping this one and off the hands of number 89, Big Smoke. unable to make that catch, and it will be second down off the incompletion.
And shout out to LJ Smith. LJ, if he's here, he'd be asking for his push-ups. That's a legend in this league, and we talked about a lot of the people that left in the earlier game from BIC. This is Smoke's first year with the U and has had some great moments, but right there, he'd like to forget about that one, as it'll be 2nd and 10.
And that just shows you how deep this U offense is. We talked about it earlier. A lot of key playmakers like Big Smoke are just making their first or second appearances now. It's a little difficult to try to chart all that on the line. Tosses it, caught, bringing it down, and a moderate gain there. Picked up by number 4, that's Ski Johnson.
Yeah, quick pressure again because they only have 2 down linemen. So when you're doing that, you're going to really hope that on every play, like not the previous play, but the play before that, that they'll jump on the pump fake. Huff is great at that. He makes some first man miss more often than not. But as we get the timeout here on the field, you might want to bring another offensive lineman back into the game.
And with the U trying to make the most of this opportunity, 59 seconds left to go. Zackees Wright will be our guest at halftime as he and Corey Hammond will break down what happened today as the BIC lost to the New Jersey Savage in the Elite 8 round of the A7FL playoffs. I'm Matt Ryan, and you are watching the A7FL on Twitch and on 11 Sports. This is the final game of the Elite 8 as we try to see who will make it to face off against the Cobras, the Savage, and the Immortals in the Final 4 of the A7FL playoffs next week, right here on Twitch and 11 Sports, with the championship game taking place on July 14th. Rivera set out in the slot. Huff looking for an option. Play action, tosses this one to the corner, incomplete, and it will be 4th and 3 for the U. And let us know in the Twitch chat which team you think is winning this game, who's walking out of here with the W right now. And smart money is on the U, making it out of here and coming back to Roselle next week for the Final 4. As 2 New Jersey teams look to represent, as the Savage already made it, the Immortals of Pennsylvania and the Cobras of Baltimore have made it onto the Final 4. Hard body getting the ball, pushing upfield. It looks like he might have got the first down and a little bit more with 56 seconds left to play in our first half. Time winding down. It will be 1st and 10. And a timeout called by the U. That'll be their final timeout of the half. And the U got the ball with just under 2 minutes left to play. And right now trying to put a capper on this one, walking into halftime with a huge lead. They want to make this one a bigger lead than they have it. They want to walk away here maybe 28 or 29 to 7. .40 seconds left to play. No timeouts left for the U. 1 left for the Vikings. And the Vikings do not want to get the ball back here. They do not want to give up a score. They want to force the U to waste all 40 seconds. But with weapons on the offensive side of the ball for the U, it's going to be hard for the Vikings defense to put a stop to this. 3 wide, 3 line. Move, Huff in trouble, brought down and sacked. Heads up play by the freight train, number 8, Terrell Burks, putting the stop. And it'll be 2nd down with a loss of about 5. Correction, 4, it'll be 2nd and 14. Again, pressure coming from the inside, whips this one, caught by Moon, and that one will get him to the 15. Heads up play there with 7 seconds left to play, and it seems like that will do it for our half. And that will be the half as you go into the locker room. Talking about our California expansion, this is the A7FL playoffs on 11 Sports and Twitch. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond as the 6-1 Paterson U take on the 3-5 Baltimore Vikings. the low seed looking to fight back, looking to come back here, but in a situation where they are taking on one of the most dominant teams in the A7FL, and it will be a long, long 30 minutes. And that ball, last caught by number 25, the problem, Lamont Quick, will go out of play. And they will reset that one here from the 25. Corey Hammond joining us back here. Corey, starting from the 25, it'll seem. Ball will be placed at, pardon me, at the 20-yard line after it went out of play. Corey, first half thoughts.
First half thoughts really come down to me being totally impressed by the effort of Jamel Mason at quarterback for the Vikings and what he's been asked to do. With almost no blocking, it seems like, on every play, he's been able to gain yardage. It's crazy. That being said, his team is down by 14 points.
And with this on the line, who's going to make it to next week? The Final Four bracketing has been set. It'll be the PA Immortals against the NJ Savage, and the Baltimore Cobras will take on the winner of this game, whether it's the Vikings or the U. So the winner of this game will face off against the 3-seeded Baltimore Cobras next week on Twitch. It's the Immortals taking on the Savage and the Cobras taking on either the Vikings or the U. In motion, handoff, running up and immediately stopped by number 5, J-Rock, Jarris Rogers with the stop.
Yeah, Gervin has had a couple of opportunities in this game where he slipped for like a 10 or a 12-yard gain, but mostly tough sledding for the Vikings run game. Great play by J-Rock, who is that kind of hybrid defensive tackle linebacker position. He plays close to the line of scrimmage, and a lot of times he'll blitz. He's able to make the stop on the run play there.
It'll be 2nd and 8. The ball placed on the 22-yard line. 2 running backs set up on either side of the quarterback, handed off to Gervin. Gervin bringing the ball downfield, will not get a first down, but a moderate gain.
Yeah, good misdirection there. Almost looks like a version of the wing T offense. Get the wide receiver going in that jet motion almost in the other way, and misdirection underneath. Good run for Gervin.
But it only gave him about a gain of 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 7. And now we see if the Vikings can bounce back here. 3rd down. Baltimore.
Again, 4 rushers for the U, only 3 blockers.
And snap. Here comes the pressure. Launching this one across his body and nearly completed. Intended receiver was number 6. That's Cameron Gervin, and it will be 4th down.
Well, I've been in that position where you kind of just chuck the ball up. Now, the middle of the field is the worst place to do it. I don't know if Gervin was the intended receiver, but it did hit him in his hands. And if the Vikings are going to win this game, they have to make simple plays like that. It's just throw and catch. That would have been a first down. They're stuck with a tough decision here because they certainly aren't going to be able to convert this if they go for it. But if they keep just throwing off on 3 and outs, the U's going to run up the score.
It'll be 4th down for the 3-on-1. As we wait for the throw off here as our officials confer. And here's the throw.
And to keep it away from Moon, they throw it way out of bounds.
Smart play. And it will be 1st and 10 for the U. Up 21-7. And Corey, it's just more about keeping the motion going, keeping it a perpetual motion machine for this U offense.
Well, I would be surprised if D-Train coming into the game to see number 32 isn't a feature of this offensive attack for the U. They already have a 14-point lead and able to kind of squash that potential attempt by the Vikings on their first drive. if they can just continue to keep the clock moving with that enormous backfield that they sometimes can put out there. That's the football version of a baseball closure is right there, number 32.
And there's no DXL line, but it's an XL line.
It's still pretty big.
It's a big line, and you see the big man, the D-Train, set up next to Huffin.
Who might be the biggest one.
And hands it off to the D-Train, and the D-Train cannot be stopped taking on passengers, but the express line getting into Baltimore territory. First down, Paterson.
Yeah, the Wolverine right there taking a ride. He probably owes D-Train $450 as you see.
He owes him
D-Train.
$275, no transfers. It'll be first down. The handoff, play action, rolls out, whips it to his right. Caught by Big Smoke, and Big Smoke looking to light one, and no, brought down inside the 10-yard line. Another first down for the U.
Well, what you've seen there is whenever D-Train is in the game, the entire Vikings defense knows that if they're going to bring him down, it's going to be a team effort. So all 7 guys are looking at the running back. On both times they've went play action with him, they've had that crossing route. The first time, touchdown to Easy.
And here comes the D-Train again. Motoring ahead, but only will get to about the 1-yard line. And it will be the first second down of this drive for the U. And let's watch this play again. The play action, great roll to the right. Smoke just wide open.
And not able to make last man miss, but it was that same exact play call that Ernest Wingate scored early in the game. We'll see if they can punch it in 1 yard out.
And they'll bring hard body in the quarterback with the D-Train set up to his left, loading that line. There's the handoff to the D-Train, trying to punch it in, and it seems like he does.
Well, the U have been the ones to officially call it a touchdown. I haven't seen a signal from the referee just yet.
Waiting to see for a call from the official.
Well, if we go by what the U said, it's definitely a score.
Well, it'll be third down and 1.
That's the first time that they've gotten close to stopping the D-Train. And that was a good play by the defense there for the Vikings.
Whistle blows.
And Hardbody still chooses to get in the end zone just in case.
Timeout called. Timeout called by the Vikings, so it'll be 3rd and 1. And this Baltimore team has been on their back foot this entire drive, trying to stop the D-Train and trying to stop Big Smoke, and it has not been a good start to this half for Baltimore.
Well, and the other thing is that it's 3rd and 1, so we talked about no soccer players. They still have 2 shots with their offensive line and their backfield at the 1 yard line.
And there's the handoff, hard body taking it, brings it to the house, throws up the U, touchdown, Paterson.
Well, it seemed inevitable at that point when you're down at the 1 yard line. But the Vikings plug up the middle, and Hardbody's able to just easily bounce it to the outside. That'll bring it to 27-7 for the U as this game is dwindling down in reasonable expectations of the Vikings staying in it. But you know the U. They're not done yet.
Oh, they are in no way done. And let's take a look at this again on the replay. The handoff, the quick run, follow him all the way in, the direct run by Hard Body, the Sicario, the assassin. Putting a bullet through the hearts of this Baltimore team as they will go for 1, from the 5 yard line.
And they have that same formation for that triple option. If they run the triple option, it looks like they're flipping sides. It's tough to stop.
And there's that toss. And Luck will get in there. Almost lost one of his dreads on the play, but was able to get inside. It looks like they'll give him the 1 point and make it 28-7.
Down 3 scores. You can see the Vikings' body language. They know they're in for a tough one if there is a chance. I don't think any of those guys quit yet, but
it's going to be a
slim pickings.
It's going to be a long 24 minutes.
And an even longer 6-hour drive home.
And be a part of the conversation on social media. Follow us on Twitch. Hit that follow button, twitch.tv/A7FL. Also, be able to clip all of the amazing highlights like that run by Hard Body on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/A7FL. Also, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/A7FL, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive highlights and more at youtube.com/the A7FL. This is the A7FL playoffs on Twitch and 11 Sports. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. And Corey, the U just keeps on coming. They will not stop, and it will be number 13 picking it up, Amani Skinner on the 3-on-1.
Yeah, earlier in the previous game, I believe, we talked about when you're watching a U, there's a chance for a big guy touchdown. Now, we got that really early on in the game. Let's see if we get some later on. Great throw by Huff. That's completely out of the end zone. No chance for Amani Skinner on the return.
It's the start. Young Scoop asking where LJ is. LJ not with us this week, but we hope to have him next week, and also for the championship game on July 14th, right here on Twitch and 11 Sports. I'm just manning the boat. I'm just setting up shop for a little while. I'll be with you for the rest of the season, and Corey, I believe you'll be along for the ride for a little while longer as well.
Okay, if they keep calling me back here, then I'll keep coming. So, what else does the Twitch chat have to say as we can engage you guys?
Moss BK saying that means game over. Good night, folks. Bugs Bunny reference. And Nolan Blake meaning of coming back. It's a Porky Pig reference. It is.
And, well, that's all, folks. I wouldn't say that's all, folks, just yet. Let's give credit to where credit's due. This team in the Baltimore Vikings last year were undefeated in the regular season, beat every team that came up against them in their playoff run, and made it to the championship game. So with most of their core here from last year, they're certainly not out of this game with 9 minutes left in the third quarter and a quarterback that can throw the ball. The problem is they're going to have to protect him, and they haven't been able to all game.
Gervin, play action. Moore launches this one, caught, first down and more, and is brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Jamel Mason can do that and throws a dart. What looks like, I don't know, Amani Skinner and Tony Totap look so much alike. That's Tony Totap there on the crossing route. They got away with the play action there, which I think that they should go away from. They should just send that running back just straight to blocking. But they're able to convert the first down, and if they can keep this going, this is exactly the type of attack that you want to attack the U with, because if you can continue to get the ball out quickly on the throw and wear down the defensive line of the U, then that pass rush won't come as aggressively. You might be able to take advantage of guys in the backfield, of the defensive backfield for the U, that sometimes take risks.
Number 55 calling himself an eligible receiver. Gervin set up to the left to the right of Moore. In trouble. Moore needs to throw this one off, running up the sideline, and he'll take a loss.
Yeah, J-Rock Rogers on the quick pressure. Again, they go with the play action. It just really doesn't mean anything, because at least at this point, if you're the defense for the U, let the Vikings run the ball. So that play action really doesn't mean much. Now, Mason was able to make a big play there, a little bit more than the sack, obviously. But it'll bring up second and long anyway.
And Mason in trouble on that play, was not able to. And that's the problem with this U, going against this U defense. There's always going to be pressure. There's going to be pressure in the secondary. We saw that with the interception in the end zone. We've seen pressure from that front four, front five, front three, any variation of it. There's been pressure all day, and Moore's been fighting the good fight for this ball.
Yeah, well, what you see is they come with an extra man each time, so it puts pressure on your pass protection, especially the running back, to pick up one of these elite rushers.
Gervin with time, whips this one across, caught near midfield, and that'll be a first down, caught by number 56.
He's real confident with that catch, too. He was really happy about that first down, and even though he tripped after catching the ball, you see when they don't go with the play action and they use their running back as an extra blocker, they move the pocket, they roll out to the right. He finds a receiver within that first 3 seconds, which is crucial, in my opinion, against the U, and they're still moving the ball. Hey, whoever said that's all, folks, let's be honest. If it was a lot of teams in this league, they would have no chance. But the Vikings have Jamel Mason at quarterback, and at least a tiny bit of belief, I do believe that he could potentially, now the chances of it are slim, but potentially he can make this game interesting with 6 minutes left here in the third quarter.
And he'll confer. And Commissioner Ryan DePaul not necessarily agreeing with the analysis of Corey Hammond.
What do you want me to just tell everybody to go home? Come on, Jamel's got this. Not really.
Well, he wasn't talking to us, but that play incomplete, did not catch it, hit the ground. They gave it to him.
They give him the catch, and again,
gain of about 5.
If you count to 3 full seconds and he still has the ball in his hands, the play probably has no shot. But there, he was able to set his feet, fire the ball quickly. Now, the ball wasn't perfectly thrown, but it was only where Amani Skinner could catch it, and a good, at least positive play for the Vikings as they continue to drive.
Well, let's take a look at this play again, see if there was a catch or not, see if I believe there was a challenge thrown on the field. Let's take a look. Inconclusive from where I see it. It looks like he might have got his arms under it, but
yeah, whatever the call on the field should probably stand. Although if you go by what Craig Pitts was saying on the sideline for the U, he's clear no incompletion there.
Let's take a look again. We'll see it in slow motion.
What do you guys think on Twitch TV?
Yeah, let's take a look at the Twitch chat.
You guys know more than us most times, right? You tell us, is that a catch or not? As we go super slow motion. The reason it was low is because you see back foot. Quarterbacks don't do that.
No catch. It slid underneath his arm. It looked like it scuttled in there.
Hey, if balls are scuttling, that's not a legal play.
My true skills saying no catch, and I'm inclined to agree, and that one will be considered an incompletion.
Who called the no catch?
That would be My True Skills.
My True Skills, with a Z.
Mr. Caparod also saying definitely no catch, and he is the clip king of the A7FL, so you gotta go inclined with the unofficial clip master of the league.
Well, if you check out his page later on Twitch, then you'll see that clip in super slow motion. Maybe not really. I don't want to put false advertisement.
And it'll be second down after the incomplete pass.
I came over here late.
The snap. With time, throws this one across his body, and another incomplete play. Could have got a first down if he caught and maintained that.
Well, at least he has enough time. He's getting far enough away from the line of scrimmage that the big defensive pass rush can't get to him. They've scrapped the play action because at this point, what's the purpose? And they're at least getting opportunities downfield. Now, he has open men. The windows aren't as big as most quarterbacks would like, and with the constant pressure that he's gotten, he's throwing a little bit off of his back foot, but hey, we're still here. We're still got football left to play, a full quarter and 5 minutes left. If the Vikings can get a quick score here, this is not over.
20 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in this game. 5:21 left to go in the third stanza of our afternoon. Mays, Mark Mazur, number 56, considers himself to be an eligible receiver. And you can see that pressure coming from the edge from that U defensive line. 2 wide receivers set up in the slot in the bottom of your screen. Here comes Ramadan, the ball thrown, and another incomplete pass, and it will be 4th down.
Well, the tough part is when you, as an offense, have to throw the ball quickly. That means the defensive backfield for the U, they only have to cover for less than 3 seconds. So even though Mason at this point is able to get rid of the ball now, he's forced to make quick throws, and the corners for the U are playing on those short routes. So not really much choice for Mason other than to try to force the ball into tight coverage. And luckily, on that throw, he didn't put it into coverage for the turnover.
It's 28-7. This is the A7FL playoffs on 11 Sports and Twitch.tv/A7FL. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond, and we are in the midst of our final game of the Final Four, of the Elite Eight to set up the Final Four. It has been a long day of football action for you here on Twitch and 11 Sports. And we're trying to set up for the Final Four, and the matchups for next week is the Pennsylvania Immortals taking on the NJ Savage, and the Baltimore Cobras taking on the winner of this game. It's the Baltimore Vikings taking on the U. Baltimore with the ball in their own territory, going for it on 4th and 10.
Well, they have trips to the bottom of our screen, and What they've been doing is rolling Mason out to his right on purpose. Let's see if they do that here.
Mason taking on his bicycle. He'll get the first down, plow through a tackler, and get brought down near the 42-yard line.
Decides to put the game on his back, and on 4th down, converts it with his legs.
Mason coming back his 2nd game after taking out the entire season with an injury.
Yeah, courageous performance at this point, and even though his team is down 28-7, if you're a fan of the A7FL, you're not going to come out of this game saying that it was Jamel Mason's fault. Last game we were talking about it ain't JJ's fault. Well, Mason can get a jersey, a hashtag that says it ain't my fault, because he's fighting as hard as he can out there. Drop balls, quick pressure, everything in his face, and he's still fighting hard for his team. That's a first down, a huge first down, as they continue to make what they can of this 21-point deficit.
3 on the line, 3 wide receivers, and 1 man behind center, and that's the quarterback, Jamel Mason. Mason, not a lot of time, whips this one, almost intercepted by Gallimore.
Yeah, Kell's there with the quick coverage, but he might have had an open man downfield. That ball, once again, thrown into the dirt. What you see from quarterbacks, even the good ones, is as there's quick pressure, you start to throw from your back foot, and that one is no different there.
Well, let's take a look again on this replay. Just eating that hit, trying to pull himself forward more. Just gutting it out, Jamel Mason, wanting more out of that play.
Yeah, DeBray Tavares has made a great interception in this game, and is known throughout the league as a relatively hard hitter. That time he takes the punishment from the quarterback, which is always nice to return the favor, as Jamel Mason, once again, it's 2nd and 10.
98 seconds left to play in our 3rd quarter. You can see the pressure, 4 on the line. Defensively, only 3 offensively. Fakes the screen, whips this one, thrown downfield, and incomplete.
Yeah, good coverage there. So really a tough play, because there's really nothing you can do other than go with the play that's called. J-Rock Rogers has been playing games with the offensive line for the Vikings all day, and whether he's that extra man that's coming or he goes back into coverage, what happens is the center goes with the man who's going to cover, play defensive back, and leaves the free man, number 13, for the quick pressure. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Vikings, as Jamel Mason looks to pull something else out of his hat.
As time winds down here in the 3rd quarter, you also have to wonder, taking that early timeout, if you're trying to make an effective comeback here, and also they've taken a lot of time off the clock in this 3rd quarter trying to make something out of this drive.
Yeah, timeouts will become crucial later, but just like a full season, what the Vikings have to do is take it 1 first down at a time. They have to convert here in the next 2 plays, and then they just have to keep converting and score.
And the snap on 3rd down. Tosses this one and complete, and it will be 4th down. And the Vikings, once again with their backs against the wall, as time will wind down here in our 3rd quarter. 28-7 your score. The Vikings in deep murky water, trying to stop this U team, the number 1 seed, from making it to the Final Four in a date with the Baltimore Cobras.
Yeah, the Vikings' phrase for themselves is "We the North," a reference, I think, to Game of Thrones, but they're in the South right now, and the heat is building on their hot seat.
And it's the start of our 4th quarter here. This is the A7FL playoffs on Twitch TV and 11 Sports. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. And we've got 15 minutes left to decide this thing, Corey. And you said the North is feeling pretty South right now. And they're switching sides of the field. But in these last 15 minutes, if you were leading this Baltimore team and you had to call upon one player, would it be number 2? Would it be Jamel Mason, number 5?
Well, the quarterback is the focal point for this offense especially. We talked about earlier, we saw the big play from number 30, the Wolverine, who is one of the cornerstone pieces of this Vikings team, but it's more on the defensive side of the ball. Also number 8, Freight Train, defensive side of the ball. So for this offense, which is really what they need, is points. For this offense to succeed, it's going to be in the hands of Mason. And although he's getting a little bit more time as time ticks down in the game, on this drive, you've already seen the toll that all of the quick pressure, all the hits, all of the rush has gotten to him. He's thrown off of his back foot. He's missing open targets. And like we said before, not having that much time to throw the ball means not that much time for the receivers to cover, so they're jumping on the shorter routes.
And
if I'm the Vikings right now, I know for a fact that it's tough. I'm still going to fight out there, but if they don't get this here, we can start talking about that Bugs Bunny or Porky Pig reference.
Empty backfield. Here comes the pressure. Mason in trouble. Back in his own territory. Throws this one deep and out of play, and it will be a turnover.
And when you have 3 guys on you from the snap of the ball all game, there's only so much you can do. And we've actually seen it. Jamel Mason, of all of the quarterbacks in this league that have come against the U defense in its full form, might be the 2nd or 3rd best performance. But they still only have 7 points, and it's still not enough against a team that is stacked from top to bottom of the roster.
And it is 28-7. The Vikings on their back foot. The U coming back to offense. This is the A7FL playoffs on Twitch TV and 11 Sports. The U offense dominating this game. Big run by D-Train to set things off after hard body fumbled on the first play, Corey Hammond. And ever since then, they've just been able to control the clock, control the momentum, and more often than not prove that they are the elite team in the A7.
Yeah, well, they right now are in the driver's seat. And if you look at some of the other teams still fighting for this year's playoffs, we're now facing a Final Four that's really interesting. The Cobras, who are the 2nd highest scoring team in the league, are going to be probably the opponent for the U if we assume that they win. Still a full quarter left here as Kareem Moon lines up a quarterback, hands off to Hardbody up the middle.
And a gain of about 5 on that play. 5 closer to 6. It'll be 2nd down and short.
And as the 4th quarter winds down, we're going to get a heavy dose of the run game, I'm assuming, for the U. So you've seen a lot of these teams, Matt. If all holds and the U wins, they'll be taking on the Baltimore Cobras, a high-scoring team from Baltimore. And then the other matchup will be the Savage, which we saw handle BIC in the last previous game in this doubleheader matchup.
Hard body running upfield, gets taken out around the 35.
Now, you put me on the spot earlier in this game. It looks like I'm going to be correct with my U pick, but looking at the Final Four, as at least we assume it's going to be, what are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, I think the Savage performance today against the BIC was a really impressive one, really coming out and facing a team that is better than a lot of people gave them credit for. And when you're watching the Immortals, they're the 2nd ranked team in the A7FL. They're a very hard defense to play against. I've not called one of their games yet this year, but seeing the Savage as frequently as I did, they are coming in the underdog, and I think they might pull off the upset next week. I think we may be able to see a New Jersey versus New Jersey final.
Yeah, well, the Cobras are one of those teams that they've been the class of Baltimore as we see Kareem Moon hand play action.
Throws this one deep. Caught! Picked up! No! Off the hands of number 19.
Joel Rivera. Now, Joel Rivera, he's been hampered by injury all season. That's a man that spent a lot of time in Jets training camp not too long ago, about 6 years ago. He's a elite level wide receiver in this league, and it was almost too easy for him as we see the replay. Most defenses, when they play against Kareem Moon at quarterback, they do not give his arm enough credit. You see, he puts the ball where it needs to be. It's just sometimes the easiest plays are the hardest ones to make.
He caught it, but he wasn't able to turn and pivot. He caught it, waiting for it, and then didn't think about the yak.
Well, and when you have as much pressure, being a playmaker for the U, as you see 2 top targets in this league, Smoke and Adrian Rodriguez, there's just not enough room for him on the field right now. That's how good this U team is. So, yeah, talking about next week, I think your pick may be right, but what's interesting about that game, the Savage versus the Immortals, is both of those teams are teams that have been knocking on the door, have made multiple Final Fours, multiple championships, and neither one has earned their first. So that'll be an interesting matchup to see. And then when we get the U versus the Cobras, those are 2 teams with high-flying offenses. As Hardbody breaks free.
Breaking free for a huge run, a gain of about 15, and gets brought down at the 25-yard line. A huge run by Hard Body, just setting it up and knocking it down. Another huge play for this U team as time ticks down. Let's take a look at this again. Over 20 yards, pardon me, a 20-yard gain for Hard Body to make it 1st and 10 for the U.
And you see the toll has been taken on this Vikings defense, who early in this game was able to stop a lot of the runners except for the D train. Now as the clock ticks down, conditioning becomes a factor, and El Sicario looking for another hit.
Conditioning that drive up here from Baltimore, just preparing for a holiday weekend, just a lot of exhaustion on that Baltimore side of the field. It'll be 1st and 10. Moon set up with El Sicario. Hard Body set up to his left. Play action. Here comes the pressure. Rolling out to his right. In trouble. Back to his left. Needs to get rid of the ball. Has time somehow. Throws this one.
That's caught.
It's caught by Hard Body.
That was a 30-yard throw. It may be a loss of yardage because of the gymnastics Kareem Moon was trying to do back there, running back and forth. Now, a lot of times he'll be able to get free doing that, but just a great play from the quarterback position just to get it back to almost the original line of scrimmage.
And they'll consider that an incomplete pass. If it was caught, it was
caught
out of play.
Yeah, he didn't get his feet in.
And it will be 2nd down. He caught it, but it was out of bounds. A loss of 1 yard. It was caught inbound. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, at that point, you're just looking for stats, and the completion percentage should be up. And if you ask Moon, he doesn't really care about stats to your face, but I bet you when he goes home, he starts counting the yards.
Yeah, he's watching this game back. He's just like, he's just got a calculator. He's got one of those old-timey visors on his head. That launches this one, corner of the end zone.
Feet were out of bounds, it looked like. Joel Rivera makes a great catch there after the bad miss earlier.
Rivera saying he caught it,
so
said he had both feet in, but the Baltimore Gators pointing out where the drag happened.
That's Freight Train, and he's never one loss for words.
But they'll give him credit for the catch and have the ball down at the 5. We're going to take a look at this one on the replay here. Let's see.
His toes were dragging somewhere, I'm not sure where.
If it's true, it's about a 22-yard reception.
We'll see on the replay here.
For Rivera. No, he's out. He is out of bounds. That right foot, that outside foot is all the way out of bounds.
See? I told you so.
Never argue with the omniscient one.
Well, and when I don't see it, I'll say, well, no, it's inconclusive because if I don't know, right?
And we'll go back to around the 35-yard line. It will be 2nd and 11.
What's
3rd
good,
and 11.
What's good about the effort there, though, is he did drag his feet. It's just when he started to drag his feet, it was clearly out
on
of
the
bounds.
wrong side of the yard line.
Let's hear from you guys on Twitch as we're into the point where the U is clearly showing their dominance. The Vikings are still fighting back. What do you guys have to either think about this game or the games coming up in next week's Final Four, which should be a great set of matchups in this high-octane form of football?
Moss BK said damn sure it does. I don't know if that is a catch. He considers that a catch or not, but we'll see what the chat says in just a moment. It's 8:55 left to play. 28-7 is your score. Matt Ryan joined by Corey Hammond for the A7FL playoffs, the Elite 8 here on Twitch and on 11 Sports. And Nolan Blake, LA, is saying 2 feet favor the defense as the defense can just push them out during the catch process.
Now, the ruling in A7FL is a little bit more like college. You only need to get the 1 foot in bounds, but clearly there, Rivera was not able to even get a shoestring in. Going to bring up 3rd and long.
And Moss BK saying, yeah, no, that's not a catch. That ain't no catch.
Well, according to Moss BK, and I'm glad we got that confirmation. Now we go back to the game.
Head lead of officials.
Yeah, he was the one who got the other one right
at the
too,
war
right?
room. Yeah, I think so. Herc 2206 saying Vikings better luck next year.
Inside handoff to a big guy.
Fat guy touchdown. Fat guy oh, no fat guy touchdown.
Well, when we talk about the U, is it really a fat guy touchdown? Because that is Marcel Bates. That's the owner.
A large man touchdown.
Well, what I'm saying is that D-Train scored our first touchdown, and he's enormous, but he's clearly more than just
a fat guy. It's a lineman touchdown.
Yeah. So we're gonna count D-Train out of it, right? So Marcel Bates almost a fat guy touchdown, and we might see Big Mo. I'm hoping for a Big Mo sighting on the offensive side of the ball. Oh, we get one.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's D-Train. That doesn't count.
But Robert H, 3223, saying, all I have to say is Cobras, we come in. Number 32, Mr. Retaliation.
Well, the Cobras took care of business in Baltimore in what seems like it was a tough-fought matchup. I don't know if there's a blizzard down there, but
it's a rare June blizzard, yes.
Yeah, at 8-0, something happened weird because the Cobras have been scoring 50 points all year long.
And there's the handoff to Hard Body gunning upfield, getting inside the 5, brought down around the 3-yard line.
Amani Skinner on defense is making a lot of tackles on these big guys as we get a little skirmish here. Big Smoke is not happy about what somebody said about somebody. I don't know what the extra form of frustration would be if you're on the U. You're clearly taking control of this game.
It's not a U game without a bench clearing moment.
Well, teams in this league will certainly not back down, but the U, in many forms, on the field during the play, maybe not dirty, they will disrespect you in many ways. And Pat Coburn is one of the most vocal guys as a wide receiver that I've seen. One of my favorite targets. But let's give a shout out to Keith Morrison, my favorite target.
It is the Baltimore Vikings and the Paterson U. The Paterson U dominating here in the Elite 8 as we wind down in the final game of our Elite 8. It's the A7FL playoffs on 11 Sports and Twitch, brought to you by Tim Tam, Recovery for All. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond. It's second and goal. Lining up is the D-Train and Hard Body behind Kareem Moon under center. Hard Body driving ahead, but the Baltimore Vikings stopping him at the doorstep. Right at the 5, no gain, it'll be third down.
So they can get the stop here and keep it within 3 scores, but as clock ticks down, the Vikings are playing for pride. They didn't drive up here to quit. Not much hope moving on to the Final Four, but I've seen crazier things in football.
A lot of weird stuff can happen in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, trust me, I know. And it will be third and goal, Baltimore. Resplendent in their purple and black, trying to fight back here. As you see Freight Train spying as a pseudo linebacker. Moon will stay in at quarterback with D-Train and Hard Body in a variation of an I formation, with number 10 acting as a tight end. Moon checking down, watching number 8. The handoff to Hard Body on the sweep. Hard Body cannot get any forward motion. Once again, stopped at the door, and it will be fourth down.
Well, big stop from the Vikings there as looks like there's 20 members of the U on the field. They're going to have to whittle that down to 7. Everybody wants a piece of this. You see Big Draco, more affectionately known as Marcel Bates, tap outs on deck, trying to get in the game, but they'll settle on the 7 that are in the game, and it looks like they have a pass.
You see Big Smoke in there. You see Kareem Moon.
Easy, Joel Rivera.
So, yeah, they're looking to pass here. And number 82 is a tight end slash. That's McKnight, who's a tight end slash offensive lineman.
And rush that man, that quarterback, at your own peril, even if they come with the extra man, which it looks like they're going to.
It's 2 on the line, and you can see number 92 waiting in the wings. But watch out for that offensive firepower. Nearing the 2-minute warning, under 3 minutes to play in our 4th and final quarter. The snap, and here comes the pressure. Moon throws this one to Big Smoke. He cannot bring it down.
Makes the catch, but can't keep his feet in bounds. The jump ball just too far out of bounds for the elite receiver. As with 2 minutes, 40 seconds left, the Vikings seem to hold.
Holding on the defense and the Vikings.
And they did hold.
going for it again, and it'll be 1st and goal, and the ball will go half the distance to the goal, so it'll be set on the 3-yard line.
And you know what this means.
Another attempt.
Well, last week I was calling the game, and BIC had a Rudy moment. Let's see if we can get a Fridge moment here.
That's what people are saying in the chat. They want to see a Fridge award. They want to see somebody get it in there, knock it in, and get the Fridge award.
Well, it looks like they got some candidates in the huddle right now. My money's on Marcel Bates, who, for all intents and purposes, is basically the owner and general manager of this team. Looks like he's going to start with the ball as the quarterback.
And in our poll in the Twitch chat, the Paterson, you have 2 votes so far as the leader of the most likely to win the A7FL championship. But a lot can happen between now and July 14th. The toss back to hard body, slides in, touchdown, Paterson.
And Marcel Bates very excited with himself in the garbage time touchdown on the option. And hard body with the backhand spring backflip combo to make sure we do not think that he's one of those fat guys out here. There, he certainly is not. The U toying with the Vikings late in this game as...
Let's take a look at this again, Big Draco.
Now that's how you run the option. You make the first man attack, and Wolverine does go for the ball. Gives his man, Sicario, the chance for the last nail in the coffin.
And they will be going just for 1 here, 34-7 now.
Potential for yet another chubby score. Can't just keep calling it fat guy touchdown.
I am a member of the large-boned community. I feel like I can get away with saying that.
I guess you're the right person to say. As you called yourself Big Bone, though, in the last one. I'm
a husky gentleman. Moon making a husky play here, running along the sideline. Pitches it like a softball into the end zone to Rivera.
Finally, Rivera can catch it, a former baseball player. It looked like a softball pitch to him.
Just a ground out to the pitcher, makes it 35-7 with 2:32 left to play. The U dominating this one, leading the Vikings 35-7. This is the A7FL playoffs on 11 Sports and Twitch. Chef_Nita saying that's dirty but good, that toss. Taking a look at it again. Just whoop.
That's disrespectful.
That's the hey, how's it going? Talking like Peter Potham is saying, hey, did you get that thing I sent you? He did. 1 point on the board, making it 35-7. And I made a Harvey Birdman reference in 2019. Where is my award? I am awaiting my award. Steve, is there an award for the most references in the sports broadcast? Oh, okay. All right. I'll get my Castellaneta.
Well, the Simpsons already did that. So.
Corey Hammond, Matt Ryan here with you. Broadcasters of the Twitch generation, bringing you the game live on Twitch and also rebroadcasted on 11 Sports. And it's the 3-on-1. This one will be caught, bouncing inside the 5, live ball. And here comes an opportunity for the U to shut down the Vikings once and for all. But number 30 will not go down without a fight.
That's the Wolverine.
The Wolverine being stopped at the 10.
Scratching with an adamantium, but no dice.
Scratching, clawing. In a mediocre movie with Ryan Reynolds, nothing doing there, and it will be 1st and 10.
Say what you want about the X-Men Origins Wolverine version. However, that Ryan Reynolds version of Deadpool has spawned the successful franchise that we know and love today.
Oh, no, I'm not doubting that. I remember watching that movie.
Well, the first one was terrible.
Yes, that movie was garbage. That movie was hot garbage. I was there. I seen it. But let's talk about something that's not hot garbage, a U-Cobras matchup next week. If the score stays the way it does, unless magic happens in the next 2 minutes.
Well, I bet you there are people that are either fans of the Baltimore Cobras or members of the actual team from Baltimore Cobras that can hit us up on the Twitch right now, that I'm sure they are more than confident heading into this matchup against a team like the U. But in contrast to the way that their game went, the Cobras earlier today winning their Elite 8 matchup against the Army 8-0. The U have completely dominated, not just on the defensive side of the ball, which it looks like the Cobras were able to do, but in every aspect of this game. And if you're the Cobras, although you're confident coming in, The Cobras had tough games already against this Vikings team earlier in the season, and look what the U, fully staffed, is able to do to a Baltimore team.
It'll be 1st and 10. Not a lot of time for Mason. Mason throws this one off the hands. Intended for Cameron Gervin, and Gervin will not let that fall.
And Jamel Mason has been doing everything he can for his team so far. And look, it's really popular if you're watching a football game to blame every miss or mistake or shortcoming that your team has on your quarterback. If you're a Baltimore Vikings fan, you do not walk away from this game saying that Jamel Mason was the reason. It ain't Jamel Mason's fault. And you see there, he throws the ball right to his receiver's hands, who had a chance to maybe even score on that play. But with 1 minute 15 left, as the clock winds down, Jamel Mason just keeps doing what he can to no avail.
1:05 left to go. It'll be 2nd down. Mason under center. Here comes the pressure. Mason needs to get rid of it. Tosses it over to the Wolverine. And he'll be forced out of play.
So a positive gain there, and once again, Mason trying to survive the onslaught, somehow finds a way to get the ball to his receiver. Finally, his receiver does make a play. And the Wolverine, he is the heart and soul of this team, but like we mentioned before, he's more of a defensive guy. He's made 2 of, if not the top 5 plays for the Vikings, and when your linebacker is making offensive plays for you against the U, just kind of tells the story all right there.
In our Twitch chat, people are excited to see what happens next week in the playoffs. It's the Immortals versus the Savage, and now the Cobras versus the U. A lot of people looking forward to that Cobras-U matchup. A lot of people thinking the Savage are going to win the chip this year. And Mason launches this one, and that's incomplete, and that's the ball game. So a valiant effort by the Vikings cannot stop the high-powered offense, the league's top offense, the league's top defense showing out here today. Moving on to the semifinals for a Final Four matchup with the Baltimore Cobras. Corey, this one's over. It's 35-7. Your final thoughts.
Seeing the U up close and personal myself and calling multiple games, there's no doubt this is the, if not the contender for the championship, one of the top 2 teams. Kareem Moon led this team to a victory, and this disrespectful play on the conversion just goes to show you it's too easy out there.
And we take a look at some of these highlights here today. A big game here in Baltimore. Not enough can be said about Mason coming in here, his 2nd game back from injury, trying to put together a valiant effort, and that one of the more controversial calls of the afternoon, whether that was a catch or not. And we see the 2 teams showing respect to both sides. And we're getting a little bit of love from the U here.
Big Rob Fabian.
Big Rob showing us a little bit of love as both the Cobras, both the Vikings and the U showing a little bit of respect, as is tradition in playoffs and sports. And Corey, what games we have next week. I am excited, and we are excited to bring them to you next week. It'll be the Immortals and the Savage taking on the Cobras and the U. And we're going to leave it at that. So for Corey Hammond, I'm Matt Ryan. Your final score, it is the Paterson U 35 and
Baltimore Vikings 7.
And on that note, for Corey Hammond, I'm Matt Ryan. Thank you to everyone for watching us. This has been the A7FL. So long from the Garden State.
This has been a broadcast of the American Sevens Football League. Like, follow, and share on our Facebook page at A7FL TV.